We're back with Jack Novak in August of 2016, talking about the 50th anniversary of Warren L. Miller and some of the experiences he had. We left off with the dental hygienist at the end of the last session.
Well, the dental hygienist was Sue Corey, and her brother was cool, and
Dr. Steger.
And Evans was retiring, and he had a chair. She said, you know, if I could get that, she had to check every kid in the school. If I could get that chair, it would make it a whole lot easier. So, okay, so she paid for to have it redone. It was all in a red color, and she set up in a closet about the size of that room right there. She set up a dental clinic, and she did every kid. And when she came across a kid that had some dental problems, she had contacted her brother, Roger, and set up a deal where we would pay a minimal amount for the dental work. Well, you know, you made reference to photo albums. Well, the school realized a profit from those. And I had a slush fund. So I made a deal with Roger. I'll pay the minimal for the kids that you have to do. So, I mean, it just dovetailed, just worked out. And
Roger Steger, you're talking about.
Yes, yeah. Dr. Steger. And so and like I said, Sue was his sister. You know, kids would go in there if they had a problem. She'd check them anyway, and clean their teeth. Every kid get their teeth cleaned. Every kid.
Good. Wow.
And see, that just didn't happen every place. You know, it was one of the beginning things that made me feel so good about trying to improve. If you sat in your classroom when you had a terrible toothache, the amount of you could pay attention was minimal. Get that taken care of. Of course, every time we did anything, it was with parental permission. You didn't monkey with a kid's teeth.
Yeah, you wouldn't dare.
No, even then you wouldn't dare.
Right.
So that worked out just fine. We did. I don't know how many he did. He did it. She did it every year for as long as I can remember. She checked. She always checked her kids' teeth, but we had to deal with Roger every year. He would take care of their teeth. Another major problem in an elementary school, in any elementary school, is head lice. I don't know if you want me to go on.
You can talk about head lice. I mean, head lice is still a problem.
Yeah,
and it's always been a problem.
Yeah. And no matter how much we worked at it, my nurse's aide was Pat Frank, and we would check the kids so if the kid was reported to have head lice and he rode on bus 23, all the kids on 23 were called down to the office and we checked them. Well, any kid that had head lice, we naturally informed the parents and told them that if they couldn't afford the medicine to treat the head lice, that I had it at school, slush fund.
Yeah.
And so we'd send a bottle of it home, instructing them that they had to clean the sofa, all the kids' clothes, their winter jackets, their caps, you know. But you never got on top of it. It was always there.
Yeah.
It was always there. But for those kids that if it got known that the little boy sitting next to you had head lice, he was ostracized.
Exactly.
See, so again, it was trying to improve the kid's self-image, so he didn't feel bad about himself. He felt good, and and it was a successful endeavor. You know.
So you started out with 650 students. You were there 27 years. Was that a steady level, or did it go up or down?
Well, they closed the Covington School.
And
when they closed the Covington School, the 5th and 6th graders came here, and the K to 4 went to Bloss. So I inherited another 150 kids from Blossburg, or from Covington, or at least another 100. And that put me up to, I had 750 bouncing towards 800 kids down there. Building wasn't made for it. So again, back to the school board. This is 3 or 4 years after we were in operation. Back to the school board, we got to do something. We got to put in an addition. We got to do something. Well, they agreed. I had an excellent working relationship with the board.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, you know. So they came and they looked things over. We decided to develop the basement of the elementary school, which was a total big, unused room.
Storage area.
Yeah, huge. So we developed 4 classrooms down there on one end. We also had the band practice room there. We had an inside recess room down there. So they developed the 4 rooms and we used them, but the state would say, you can only use them for 2 years. You've got to make plans and submit plans to have an addition put on. So we went through all that rigmarole. And Dr. Igo, I don't know how he had nerve enough to do it, but he put me in charge of it. And I knew nothing of construction, but I knew construction workers. And I worked very closely with those guys, and we put on four classrooms at the end of the building towards the south, and a music room. And down towards the east of the north of the building, we put a special ed room, built a new library. The library had been in the art room, so we made the library the new art room and built a new big expanded library. So it was quite a big, we put a new cafeteria on. And so it was a big addition, big expense.
Sure.
Almost as much of an expense as the original building was.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
But because of the enrollment. At that time, the college was growing. In growth came new professors.
Mm-hmm.
New professors brought families,
Mm-hmm.
and those families brought their kids to school. And now I had that element to work with too. Sometimes college people expect more than can be given. So, but I knew that somehow, and so I made sure that we didn't do anything different for those kids,
Mm-hmm.
but we made sure that we paid attention to the new influx of kids coming in. So we got up around 800 for about 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then we bounced back down to 650. And, you know, I guess we probably had 625 for several years, and that's where we stayed. I figured we had about 14,500 kids go through there in those 27 years,
Mm-hmm.
which was quite a bit. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you're young, excited, enthusiastic. It doesn't matter. 14,600 kids in it. None of that mattered. All the time that all that was going on, it was very important to me to match kids to teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say little Johnny here, his mom and dad just got divorced and he's all torn up. Put that kid with the right teacher who's sympathetic to that need.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, she's not doing too well in her reading, so match her at 2nd grade with somebody who's stronger in reading.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with math.
Well, you really had to know your students.
Well, I spent the entire summer, people don't understand it, but I mean, they don't hardly believe it, but I spent every day in the summer matching. I had to know those kids, I had to know those teachers and what their strengths were, and it enabled me to have very content, happy teachers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't have kids they couldn't handle. The teacher who took the little boys and girls from divorce, she could handle those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she may have come to me in September and say, you know, last year I had a good class, but this year, I can't believe how come I have such a good group of kids. Well, I never told them that I thought they were best with handicapped or best with divorced kids or best with reading or what it was. It was my job. That was my job. There's the academics. I want you to do the job academically. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, because every year we're tested. And we can't fool anybody with that. So I want to provide you with the best environment so that we can achieve the goals that are set by the state. And, you know, it was just, I just marveled at the success of that philosophy. I don't know.
Well, you loved your job
Yeah,
for all those
I did.
years.
I did. I really loved it.
And 27 years is a long time.
Yes, it was. And
I
when
mean, you were having the children of your students coming
we're
in,
near. Yeah.
probably even a few cases of grandchildren.
And you know, I see those kids around. I say kids; they're 50-year-old kids now, and I see them around town on special occasions. At the 4th of July celebration, I had the occasion to meet, say, "Hey, Eric, come here, man." And Eric would turn his head and he'd see me. He'd come over, and you know, I had a chance to see those kids and call them by name, and they'd just say, "How do you remember?" It was 40 years ago.
That is amazing. That
It
is
was
really
just 40
amazing.
years ago
Yeah.
that I was in your elementary school and that you called me by name. I have no idea how that is. My long-term memory must be good.
Now, what was the size of your staff? We're running out of time
Well,
here again,
my
but
staff started out with, 4 sections of everything for
so
7.
4 times 6,
For
24?
seven,
Okay.
county kindergarten.
Oh, right, yes. 4
And then
times 7,
special
20.
ed,
Uh-huh.
another 3 or 4 of those, 32, and then special teachers, art, music, phys ed, library.
Right.
So I had probably 36, 37 teachers.
Plus custodial staff.
Oh, plus custodial staff, my secretary. Another one of the factors in that I'm very pleased with is the realization that I could go after and find people who were educated, had a degree in philosophy, a degree in English, and were interested in teaching or working, with elementary kids. I could hire 2 of them for the price of 1 teacher. Nobody really stopped to figure that out, I guess, because nobody complained about it. They were glad for the extra help. I must have had 10 paraprofessionals working at the same time, working with Down syndrome, working with physical handicap, working with deaf kids, working with just all sorts of,
So I want to say again that this is the 50th anniversary of Warren L. Miller, which is really quite a milestone. 1890s this year is going to be September 24th, and you're going to have a table there and a tent with your albums, and we're very much looking forward to your former students coming in to greet you and look at what you have. And
look at me and see that I'm still alive.
well, thank you, Jack.
You're
we really
welcome.
appreciate your coming in.
Yeah, you're welcome.